This is CBC Here and Now.
Tonight, celebrating a half century in the priesthood. You are looking at a reception tonight for Archbishop Martin Currie, who's marking 50 years.
But first...
Good afternoon, Channel Warmline. Monica speaking.
More money means more help for people struggling with mental health. Hear how Channel is channeling some of its new funding. Well, if you were near Kitty Bitty Lake in St. John's this afternoon, you likely heard some music.
It was pouring out of the CNIB building, celebrating the mental health support organization known as Channel.
And that's where our Megan McCabe is. So Megan, what's Channel's good news?
Thanks to new funding, including a 3-year commitment from the provincial government, it's expanding, hiring 8 new full-time staff members and doubling its Warm Line, which is a mental health peer support line you can call 12 hours a day, every day of the week. If you're having a hard time and need to talk, Monica Squires is there.
Good afternoon, Channel Warmline. Monica speaking.
She's a certified peer support worker at Channel's Warm Line, a province-wide mental health phone service. Squires says working there is the best.
I get to use my experiences because as a peer supporter, that means I have the lived experience. That means I have a mental illness that I manage and can now work full-time.
And the worst.
The worst of times is some of the stories. Some of the stories that we hear from people, they cut, you'll always meet these 1 or 2 people that just get in your heart and crack it wide open, and you kind of bleed with them a little.
Along with the Warm Line, open every day 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., Channel offers a slew of peer support services, including this drop-in session every afternoon. Since launching 2 years ago, the Warm Line is struggling to keep up.
The research had indicated that, we'd probably get about 50 calls in our first month. It's new, it's not been promoted. So we're kind of saying, okay, 50 calls would be great. In our first month, we received 500 calls. And so right now we're up to about 10,000 calls a year.
And growing.
Like any service, when it gets some popularity, it gets overused, which is fantastic if the need is there. Unfortunately, what happens is people who then call are not able to get through.
Hopefully that's about to change. The Warm Line is literally doubling from 1 staff person working at a time to 2, going from a budget of $140,000 to $280,000 a year. It may sound like a lot of money to run a phone line, but Channel says it's actually significantly less than what the government spends on its 24-hour crisis line. And they are 2 different things. The Warm Line's only available 12 hours a day, and it's for non-crisis calls. If you are looking for non-judgmental support, you can call or drop by here on the Boulevard weekdays between 12 and 4. Reporting live for Here and Now, I'm Megan McCabe in St. John's.
There could be some relief for pensioners from Wabush Mines. Members of its negotiating committee say they have reached a $40 million deal with Cliffs Natural Resources. The pensioners say it comes after talks with the company outside of the creditor protection proceedings the shuttered mine has been going through. Here Now's Jacob Barker joins us live on that. Jacob, what do we know at this point?
Well, Debbie, there are still lots of details to be worked out, but there is a plan in place. Members of the negotiating team are telling us, and if this goes ahead, the plan would give about 2,000 former workers of the mine back some money that they feel they lost after the mine got shut down. This is a fight that they have been fighting since the mine was shuttered in 2014, and they saw their pension was underfunded. They said to the tune of about $45 million, and later medical benefits got cut. Some beneficiaries of this deal were ecstatic to receive the news today.
I'm super excited. Even though we won't get everything back, at least, we will obtain some of our funding back. And it is a positive for a lot of people who, of course, their pensions were reduced by 21 or 25%. and especially for, like, you know, our widows whose husbands have worked at Wabash Mines.
Now, the news of this was not confirmed to us today by Cliffs. They told us that any news about what's happening in the creditor protection would be coming out from reports from that process itself. Those proceedings are happening in Quebec, and members of the negotiating team told us that anything that is finalized will only be reflected once it's signed off on by the court. But they say the $40 million that they're talking about would go a long way for pensioners who saw 21 to 25% of their pensions cut after the mine was shut down. They say they're not getting everything that they wanted, but they are pretty happy with what they've seen so far.
I figured it was better to settle for the $40+ million rather than take a chance and go to court and lose everything. And we didn't want that. We want to see our people at least recover some of it. And this deal right now gives some comfort to all of our people that you won't lose any more and you will recover some of your lost benefits.
Now, we could be hearing more details about just what's going on next week. There'll be community meetings in Wabush next Tuesday. Reporting live for Here and Now in Happy Valley Goose Bay, I'm Jacob Barker.
A sexual assault trial that was set to begin in Grand Falls, Windsor this morning has been cancelled. Instead, Crown prosecutors have withdrawn 5 charges against a 32-year-old woman. And the family of the young boy at the center of the case says justice was not served today. Here Now's Garrett Barry has our story.
I truly believe it happened.
We can't show you the alleged victim's mother, nor can we tell you her name. But we can say she's hurt by what happened in the courthouse this morning.
This lady was a close friend to, she was around the child. She had what we call a relationship, I guess, ongoing for months with this child. At one point, I was told she was claiming to be pregnant for my son. It's hurtful to think that she gets to walk today and the charges are dropped.
Police originally laid 5 different charges against a 32-year-old woman. That included sexual assault and sexual interference. We can't identify the accused either because it could identify the alleged victim. According to court documents, police once believed the woman touched the boy with her lips and told him, "I want to cuddle and F you." The prosecutors in the case say there was no reasonable chance they could prove it.
Once the Crown determines that there is no longer a reasonable likelihood of conviction, we're required to withdraw the charges.
Can you give me any detail of why you believe there was no reasonable likelihood of conviction?
There's typically a number of factors involved, as was the case here, but being mindful of both the publication ban that's in place and the subject matter of the charges, I prefer not to get into any kind of detail, any kind of further detail other than what I have given you.
The alleged victim was 14 at the time. His aunt says he was never the same.
He was, you know, your typical 14-year-old kid. Now he barely leaves the house, right? He's not in school. We can't get him to go to school. Totally withdrawn. He won't have a conversation or a relationship with anyone. He's basically, you know, locked in his father's house, and that's the extent of his life.
In the hearing this morning, Hiscock told the judge that the boy at the center of this case was reluctant to testify in court. That was one of the reasons why the charges were withdrawn. The family says Crown attorneys should have pushed forward anyway and looked to the judge to force him to make a decision. Garrett Barry, CBC News, Grand Falls, Windsor.
You think cheerleading is something that happens on the sidelines at sports? This is The Sport. I'm Zach Gowdy. A high-flying story coming up on Here and Now.
Well, good news for a woman and her online boyfriend. With a lot of help from Air Canada, they finally get to stop texting and they will meet in person.
Get used to the fame.
Yeah, we'll try.
You'll try. Look at your phone, still buzzing.
Yeah,
Look.
CJ actually.
Is it? What's
yeah.
he saying?
He said, hey.
So you must be getting a break from work, is he?
Becca Atkinson has been texting and Snapchatting with her boyfriend CJ Poirier in Michigan for almost a year now. He couldn't afford a flight to Newfoundland, so Air Canada said they would get him here if he got 530,000 retweets. Well, with a little help from some famous retweeters and a few rule changes from the airline, The two hit their goal this afternoon. CJ arrives in Deer Lake at the airport Monday. He'll be there for 6 days, getting to know his girlfriend in person.
He's really super excited. Like, we both, had our hopes up. Like, we didn't think it was not going to happen, but we also didn't think it was totally going to come through with that 530K. But yeah, like, we're just totally excited. You talk to this person for so long, through your phone, through texting, FaceTime, and stuff like that, but you don't have that physical, connection, And so being face-to-face is definitely going to be, a wake-up call, just a little bit of reality check.
Okay, so we'll see if distance makes the heart grow fonder or what. But the first dates, can you guess where they're going to have their first date in Corner Brook? They have chosen the Golden Arches. They will be at McDonald's for their first date in Corner Brook, and of course, we will be there with our cameras invading their privacy as much as possible.
Which is what we do.
It's a follow-up.
That's right.
It's a big public story, obviously, so we will bring you their media, and I hope it goes well.
Yeah, no pressure,
No.
especially with the cameras there. Boy, has technology changed, hasn't it?
No kidding.
Long gone are the days of writing a note and then sending it in the mail and maybe getting a reply 7 or 8 days later. Anyway, best of luck to them, and we'll look forward to that follow-up. Nice day today.
Lovely.
Things cleared out a little earlier, which was a bonus. We talked about the little possibility of a little bit of sunshine. Turns out we had a lot of sunshine, at least here in the east. Have a look at your current temperatures. It's still 9 degrees in St. John's right now, 12 in Gander, but 5 in Corner Brook, -4 in Labrador City. Some cooler air funneling in on the other side of this system as it departs. And as it does depart, we are talking about more in the way of sunshine coming in behind. And your weather on the way headlines are looking pretty nice indeed. Sunny for Saturday, so we'll need the sunglasses for most of us. Labrador trying to get there. Certainly some clearing out through Saturday. A few showers for Mother's Day on the island. Chances some lingering flurries in Labrador, but overall Mother's Day looking a lot better than it was a couple of days ago. And then temperatures rising early next week, and that should get the flowers really starting to bloom and pop in some of those gardens out there. So we'll keep you posted on that with your complete long-range forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Anthony?
Well, thanks, Ryan. Well, with our meteorologist describing sunny conditions like that, you might have barbecuing on your mind. Well, St. John's is thinking about hosting a full festival involving barbecues. It's called Rib Fest. City Council is trying to decide if the 4 days, yes, 4 days, if this festival will go ahead and go along in Churchill Park. But what about the neighborhood? What do people who live there think about this idea? Well, Here and Now's Megan Kwan went to find out.
Rib Fests happen all across North America. They're nothing new. But they're new to Newfoundland, and like anything new, some people have concerns. Sweet, tangy, and delicious, with hundreds of people bustling about. This is Ribfest in Charlottetown. But is the festival right for Churchill Park in St. John's? Some people here are worried about parking spaces, noise, and the soccer field where minor league teams play in the summer.
The wise people who decide all this stuff, they should have some I'm wondering what pushed them in this direction towards, Churchill Park, which is really a small area. I'm not really pro or anti. there's a lot of unknowns with this.
I'm not opposed to activity in the park. I'm not opposed to a lot of activity. More activities than are there would be fine. But I would like to know ahead of time what is planned.
What's planned is a 4-day festival in July filled with food, games, and local entertainment. It's being proposed by Mighty Quinton Promotions. The same people that brought Rod Stewart to another grassy field in St. John's several years ago. That event was successful, and rib lovers hope the same is true for this barbecue bash, especially because it'll be on their doorsteps.
I'm actually rather looking forward to it. I think it would add, revenue, and it would help the city to bring more people in.
I guess if the wind is blowing in this direction, we're going to have quite the aroma of ribs for that 4-day period.
The city is trying to avoid a sticky situation. Residents will be asked for their opinions before any decision is made. Megan Kwan, CBC News, St. John's.
The Department of Education has confirmed Bishop Field Elementary in St. John's will not reopen in September. The province released the structural engineering report today, and it concludes that the building is generally sound, but some concrete repair work is needed and new ceilings are also required throughout the entire school. Students will continue to attend the former School for the Deaf.
There's bad news for an endangered bat population in Newfoundland. 3 bats have been found with white nose syndrome. The fatal disease was detected in the endangered bat species known as little brown myotis in western Newfoundland. The disease has decimated hibernating bats throughout the Maritimes and the northeastern United States. Anyone who finds a dead or sick bat is asked to take the GPS coordinates and a photograph, then get in touch with a provincial wildlife office.
Well, if 30 years is a career, what's 50? If you're Reverend Martin Curry, it's a calling. The Archbishop of the Diocese of St. John's is celebrating half a century in the priesthood.
And that milestone is being marked in a big way today. Our Terry Roberts spent some time with the leader of the Catholic Church in this province, and Terry is joining us now live. Terry?
Yes, Debbie, I'm here at the gathering place where a reception, as you can see, is well underway for this man. They just completed a special mass at the cathedral next door, and everyone is moved here for some food and some well wishes for His Grace. And but earlier today, I was able to spend some time with him, and no holds barred conversation with the Archbishop.
This is something you don't see much of anymore. A church filled with young people. Today, students from St. Bon's crowded into the Basilica, and they were greeted by this man.
You know who I am, yeah, Archbishop Curry.
He's been in that role for more than 10 years, in the province for nearly 2 decades.
Been a good experience, not without its difficulties.
He grew up in Sheet Harbour, Nova Scotia. And here, Ordination Day, late parents in the foreground. In the late 60s, a cultural revolution underway. And Curry was a bit of a rebel, even known to show up at a protest or two.
At that time, I suppose someone those days would call me a liberal, you know.
But he followed a calling into the priesthood. Admits he sometimes questioned his decision.
There were dark days of the soul a few times.
Ordained with 13 others.
2 have died, 4 left the priesthood, and 2 got into legal problems, abuse problems,
Abuse, scandal. Curry faced it head on when he came here.
I've tried to be, if you will, open and transparent with the things, not hiding anything, but try to be upfront with what is going on.
A church that once dominated the social fabric of this province, now a shadow of its former self.
I think the church feels left out of the marketplace, if you will.
Efforts underway to change things, but no easy answers.
How do we make, as the Holy Father says, missionary disciples out of people?
Curry is a hardliner on some things.
Marriage is between a man and a woman.
But is liberal with the idea of allowing priests to marry.
I would like to see it changed for those who wish.
Says he would have been a good husband, father.
I've struggled to be faithful. You know, one of the drawbacks of celibacy I always found was sometimes a loneliness.
But prayers always sustained him. 50 years on, he's being praised by the Pope's representative in Canada.
Archbishop Martin is very well known as a serene and wise pastor.
I say he hasn't changed much.
And by the woman who's worked closely with him over the last decade.
I'm going to miss him. You know, I miss the friendship, because he's more of a than a boss. He's more of a friend, because you can talk to him about anything, and he's there for everyone. He is. You know, he's a good person.
Now, when he turns 75 later this year, Archbishop Curry has to submit his resignation to Pope Francis. And if it's accepted, he plans to move back to his home province of Nova Scotia, where he still has plenty of family. But he says Newfoundland and Labrador will always have a big place in his heart. Reporting live for Here and Now, I'm Terry Roberts at the Gathering Place.
Well, cheerleading isn't only for showing sport team support, it's a sport all on its own.
This elite cheerleading team is just back from the world competitions and are showing our Zach Gowdy just how it's done.
Welcome back. Well, imagine a sport where the athletes are fit enough to do standing backflips and strong enough to actually lift a teammate right over their heads. Well, that sport is growing fast in this province, and it's called competitive cheerleading.
The Rays from Coastal Wave Elite Gym in Paradise just competed at the Cheerleading Worlds in Orlando. They're already looking for tryouts for next season, but you can leave the pom-poms at home. Here now, Zach Gowdy checked it out.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
To play hockey or football, you need to be strong. Basketball or volleyball, you need to be athletic. But to be a cheerleader, you've got to have it all.
Normally cheerleaders on the sidelines, but we're each other's cheerleaders here. Like, we push each other so hard each practice to be the best we can be for each other to make this team as good as it was.
The team is called the Rays, one of just a few competitive cheerleading teams in the province. Their home is Coastal Wave Elite, a gym in Paradise that opened last fall, tucked in the back of a trucking company warehouse.
It started out as nothing, and then we're turned into a family. It's like our house now. It's like where we live.
We're here 24/7.
Yeah.
So.
We're here practice here all the time, trying to make it the best possible.
They know what it takes to be the best because they've seen it up close. In late April, after just 6 months of practice, they won their way to the Cheerleading Worlds in Orlando, Florida.
Going to Worlds wasn't even on my radar as a cheerleader. As much as I loved cheerleading and as much as I was dedicated to it, I never thought in a million years that I would ever get the opportunity. So some people say they're crossing it off their bucket list. It was never even close to mine because I didn't think I would ever get there. So it's truly amazing.
How many hours have you guys spent in this gym?
Oh, hundreds of hours.
A lot.
many late nights. We've been here till midnight, lots of nights during the winter and leading into Worlds.
The coaches and team members are a tight-knit group. They say you have to be to pull off stunts like this.
You're trusting each other with your lives.
Yeah.
With stunting and tumbling, so we became really close family for sure.
Somehow you don't know anyone when you first walk in, and by the end of the year you got like 23 new best friends.
Yeah.
And some of those cheer friends are guys. They say the hardest part of becoming a male cheerleader is walking through the door.
I got involved 10 years ago when I was fresh in high school. It was a really hard decision to make back then, but it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life.
As their inaugural season winds down, the Rays are already looking ahead to next year and to changing how people here think about cheerleading.
The first thing anybody says to me when they say, oh, you cheerlead? Who do you cheer for? So I kind of have to explain the whole thing. Like, cheerleading is its own sport now. It's totally different than sideline pom-pom cheerleading.
It's a lot of fun. I know people that have started off since they were little doing this and started off a couple years ago doing it like as adults, just walking into the gym and trying their best. And like anyone can do it if they put their mind to it, and especially with this environment, like we really push each other to be the best we can possibly be.
Like she said, anyone can do it. Zach Gowdy, CBC News, Paradise.
You know he had to do it.
Yeah, Zach gets all the tough assignments, right? But well, a lot of cheer in that room and a lot of strength.
Yeah, cheerleading has definitely changed. Quite impressive. It
was a pretty good day in St. John's. Not quite as sunny as it was earlier today. Ryan has your weekend forecast coming up. Well, lots of people making special plans, of course, for moms.
Well,
you're hoping, yeah.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Of course, the big day is on Sunday, and the weather, as we've been saying all week, has been looking better and better and brighter and brighter. Still a few showers to watch for if, you know, a walk around the lake with mom is your plan. Definitely, you want to keep an eye on the radar. There will be, I think, a line of showers working from west to east across the island in particular. But nothing like it was looking earlier in the week, and nothing like what we're seeing along the north coast of Labrador right now.
Oh my.
Yeah, so that is the scene in Notwashish, and that icon actually should be showing snow because it is still snowing there. Temperatures near the freezing mark. Northwesterly winds are sustained at 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. We're seeing some gusts in the 70 to 80 kilometer per hour range. There is a blowing snow advisory from Nain down to Hopedale, and that includes Notwashish, and we do have likely another 5 to as much as 10 centimeters of snowfall through the overnight tonight, tapering off tomorrow as that low departs. Special weather statements continue from Postville, Makovic, as well as Hopedale. Now, as we take a look at this system, it is departing. With that, we're seeing the showers that have been rolling along the south coast today, clipping up into the metro region from time to time with a couple of spits, but generally that is moving out as well. Area of high pressure is on its way in, and that high is what's going to save us from any significant rainfall on Sunday, which was looking set from this system here, but that will stay to the south now thanks to this area of high pressure, which is going to hold in strong. So your timeline tonight does show that snow continuing along the coast of Labrador, gusts in the 80 to 90 kilometer per hour range, Makovic and up towards Nain. Even some pretty strong winds as far south as Happy Valley Goose Bay with some gusts to 60 there, 65 to 70 in Cartwright. Along the north coast of Newfoundland and along the west coast, even down towards St. John's, we're talking about gusts in the 50 kilometer per hour range to start your morning on Saturday. Hopefully nobody will be using any of those school buses tomorrow. Hopefully you've got the day off. But either way, for your Saturday morning, we are looking at a cool start and a bright start across the island. That snow tapers off, as I mentioned, in Labrador. The general theme here tomorrow with those winds in from the west is going to be a little on the breezy side, but temperatures should be allowed to rise into the 7, 8, even 9 degree range away from those onshore winds. Still, again, gusts 40 to 50, so keep that in mind. And along the west coast in those westerly winds, yeah, temperatures are going to be limited to about 4 or 5 degrees. Humber Valley into Grand Falls, Windsor, Gander. Get away from those onshore winds. That's where we'll find our warmer temperatures. A solid mix of sun and cloud for most of the island. Westerly winds will gust to 80 along the coast of Labrador tomorrow and gust to 70 in places like western Labrador with those lingering clouds and flurries there. This is our weather maker for Sunday. Weak trough line. It moves through Saturday night through Labrador. Can't rule out a lingering flurry on Sunday, and then it rolls into Newfoundland Sunday morning in the west, central Newfoundland through the afternoon. I think it's a late day risk for St. John's and the east. So overall, not a bad day. I think we'll see a mix of sun and cloud ahead of that chance of showers in the east. Sun-cloud mix before and after in central parts of Newfoundland and clearing out quite nicely through the morning, but certainly cooler for Sunday for Mother's Day along the west coast. -1 in Happy Valley Goose Bay. Should get up to +3 though in Labrador City. That is your forecast to now. Walking you through the long range in just a few minutes. Debbie.
Thanks, Ryan. A team of researchers, including one from Memorial, is dissecting romantic relationships. For more than 3 years, they've been studying the dynamics between working women and their male partners and the importance of ambition. Glenn Payette has the story.
What do Oscar winners Sandra Bullock, Halle Berry, and Kate Winslet have in common?
And I'm so lucky to have a wonderful husband and two beautiful...
They are just a few of the actresses who were hit with the Oscar curse. After winning the gold statue, which comes with increased prestige and status, the relationships with the men in their lives ended. Memorial University professor Dr. Alison Byrne and her co-author, Dr. Julian Barling, decided the Oscar curse was worth mentioning when they published their study on the impact status could have on relationships, specifically when a woman of higher status is involved with a man of lower status. They surveyed 209 such women.
They expressed feeling dissatisfied, had, wished that their marriage was happier. They were feeling, greater levels of conflict in the marriage, and also experienced thoughts and emotions and behaviors that were consistent with marital instability. So things like they had talked to their friends about potentially leaving their spouse, they had consulted a lawyer, they were more likely to have given real serious thought to exiting the marriage.
Some of the survey questions were surprisingly simple.
We asked them questions, things like, if you went to the company Christmas party, are you embarrassed to bring your spouse? Does your spouse's job status bring you more respect? Do you wish your partner had a higher level of job status? We did follow up with these women 3 years after we had first collected their data and found that the desire to leave the marriage and the dissatisfaction in the marriage was still present 3 years later.
Dr. Burns says status is a relative thing, that a woman who's a surgeon would have higher status than her husband who's a GP, or a woman who's a teacher would have higher status than her husband who stocks shelves in a store. Burns says that some of the women surveyed had left their marriages, while others stayed.
I don't want people thinking, oh my goodness, I earn more than my husband, our marriage is doomed. That's not the case at all. We found that when husbands provided their spouses with tangible support, so not necessarily the emotional support, we didn't find that actually made it as much of a difference, but when husband provided tangible support, so childcare, domestic work around the home, or elder care, when those tangible behaviors were present, that was a support to their wives' careers.
Census numbers show that about 60% of graduates from Canadian universities are women. As an example of how things have changed over a generation ago, all of these women were in one courtroom at the same time at Provincial Court in St. John's recently. They are all lawyers.
I think we are seeing across all disciplines at the university level, for example, that women are entering the education fields at the highest level. So MBA, law school, medicine, and this is where we don't want to stop that. We encourage this tremendously.
Melanie Hurley is one of them. Hurley is doing her PhD in English at Memorial and says she would marry a man with a lower status.
If I was the person who was making more money or the major breadwinner, to use general terminology, I would want some sort of parity in terms of whether it was housework or child rearing, that I wasn't doing everything.
Show me that they care and that they're trying. So at home with either housework or trying to get some type of job.
Burns says if two people are getting into a long-term relationship and she has a higher status, talking things through is key.
I know it's not exactly exciting in the beginning of a relationship when everything is romantic and new to talk about one's career ambitions, but I think it's really important to have those conversations early and frequently. You don't want to find yourselves 20 years down the road wishing you had talked about these things beforehand and finding yourselves in an unhappy relationship.
You heard from a couple of the women I spoke with here on the MUN campus who would go on camera. I spoke with others. One MBA student wouldn't go on camera. She told me she didn't care about the housework. She said if she was involved in a relationship with a guy who had a lower status, he would have to be attractive and stay that way. Glenn Payette, CBC News, St. John's.
The researchers only examined male-female relationships. They're hoping to get funding to study same-sex relationships in the future.
Let's talk about dessert. I got a chocolate brownie ice cream sundae with flambé bananas. It's going to blow your mind.
Next, the foodie segment of Here and Now. Some simple tips to impress mom on Mother's Day. Well, Mother's Day just around the corner, so there's still time to get a card if you haven't, but we have another tip for you tonight: how to cook a simple dish and serve it up so it looks like a feast fit for mom.
Here's Chef Mark McCrow with tips on how to plate it like a pro.
Hey everybody, we're in my home kitchen. Mother's Day is around the corner and I got a quick dish with 5 key ingredients. So we're gonna make chicken piccata. Start off with beautiful fresh chicken breast that we gotta season heavily with salt and pepper on each side. We're gonna take our chicken breast, we're gonna dredge it in seasoned flour. And in the meantime, we got a pan preheating. We're gonna add a little knob of butter. Once the butter starts to foam, we're gonna get ready to put our chicken in. So you can see the chicken's come along nicely. We're gonna cook it for another minute on the other side, and we're gonna put it in the oven to finish cooking. In the same pan, we're gonna start to build our sauce. We're gonna add to the pan some garlic, some parsley, some fresh lemon juice. We're gonna add in some red chili flakes. We're gonna go in with some nice salty capers. Sauce is going. I'm gonna add a little bit of chicken stock. Once the sauce is simmered down a bit, you wanna take another knob of butter and just sort of swirl it in to enrich the sauce. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the spaghetti in the pot. If you give it a little twist and release it, you get the perfect spiral. So I got a fresh pan on for the pasta, the other 2 cloves of garlic that I chopped earlier, the rest of the parsley, a pinch of red chili, and of course we gotta season everything with salt and pepper. So the pasta is just coming up, it's about al dente. I'm gonna just go ahead and put it in the other pan. So now everything's together in the pasta pan. Just gonna give it a little toss, stir it up a bit. Everybody loves kale, so let's chop it up. And this salad's awesome. It's 2 things. It's lemon juice, fresh Parmesan, and then of course a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper. Our chicken's just about to come out of the oven. We got our piccata sauce sitting on the back. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna start with the spaghetti. Pop a nice little tight mound in the middle. On top of that, we're gonna go in with the chicken breast. Try to just nestle it up on top. Don't have to be too picky. And of course, that piccata sauce with the capers, the chilies, the garlic. Then you want to grab some salad, crunch it together, keep it nice, pop it right on top. That's pretty much it. I'm just going to take a little bit more of that Parmesan, finely grated on the top. And there you go, that's your dish, chicken piccata a la mom.
I like the title.
Yes, gorgeous.
I like the way he made that pasta kind of sit up like that.
Yes, little nest like that. So there's the main course, and of course,
here comes dessert.
Mother's Day is coming up, so let's talk about dessert. I got a chocolate brownie ice cream sundae with flambé bananas. It's gonna blow your mind. So we're gonna start off in a pan with a little bit of sugar, get a nice dark golden color. Next, we're gonna go in with some butter. So we got all of our bananas chopped right into the pan. Get some nice caramelization, stir them together, and just let them simmer away. All right, the bananas are simmered down. Now it's time for the fun part. We're gonna go in with some whiskey and light this thing on fire. So take the pan away from the heat, add your whiskey, back over the heat, tilt the pan, and burn off any excess alcohol. So we're gonna simmer that off, cook off the alcohol, just keeping the nice flavor of the whiskey. Now we're gonna start making some whipped cream. So I got a bowl that I kept in the freezer so it's nice and chilled. I got some nice cold 35% whipping cream, and I'm gonna pour that right into my bowl. I'm gonna sweeten it with a couple of heaping tablespoons of sugar. Definitely gonna go a little bit of vanilla just to make it pop. And then I'm just gonna get in there and start whisking it up. Whip it good. The sure way to tell it's done is you can hold it over your head until it falls. So we got a nice little sundae dish. First off, get back to those bananas. Then we're gonna get some really good quality vanilla ice cream. And there's no reason to slave over the stove. Go ahead, grab some really good 2-bite brownies, crumble them up in there. All right, then take some of that whipped cream, get a nice big dollop, get some roasted peanuts. I like to grab my favorite chocolate bar, chop it up, put it right on there. A little bit more whipped cream, then of course the cherry on top. But definitely don't forget a little bit more of that banana caramel right over the top. And that's it, the ultimate brownie sundae.
He forgot the hour-long walk.
That's right,
needed.
at least. Wow.
So if you want to give any of this a try, you can find the recipes online. They're on our website at cbc.ca/nl. Time now to meet 10-year-old Reed House from Corner Brook. Today's athlete of the day has been a member of the Saltos Gymnastics Club since he was just 18 months old.
Draped in medals there and awards, he's working hard and is looking forward to competing in men's level 2 this year. He also spends a lot of time in other sports, skiing, snowmobiling, playing basketball, baseball, and football.
I'm tired.
Wow, yeah. Congratulations, Reed. You're today's young athlete of the day. So, again, not a bad weekend as far as early May weekends go, because really is Nain and Notwashish and the Coast of Labrador show. So right now, anything is possible this time of year. Beyond that, though, I think the big theme for next week is we're going to turn up the thermostat a little bit.
Good.
Warming up some temperatures for early next week, and you can see where the warm air is building. 31 in St. Louis and Nashville, 32 in New Orleans, and that warm air is going to want to head northward over the next couple of days as this system does track through to our south, but we are going to be allowed to tap into some of that warmer air for early next week, and we'll show you how it all plays out. Area of high pressure is going to be the dominant feature for the weekend after this low that's bringing the blowing snow to the coast of Labrador. Over the next 24 hours it continues, but really starts to taper off through the Saturday morning time period. Just some lingering flurry chances into the afternoon tomorrow. Sun and cloud by the mid to late afternoon time period at the very latest. Now, we are talking about this little trough line here that's going to truck through Labrador for Saturday evening into the overnight, bringing some flurry chances with that. Western Labrador, in fact, will get into that action tomorrow through the morning, and the winds are going to be quite gusty on the other side of this one with some gusts in the 60-70 range. Now, there is this little front in the trough that comes across the island on Sunday. Again, it's shower chances, nothing too significant. We have some showers that are going to be clearing out as we roll by the time we get through the Sunday evening. I think long gone for Central, and then that risk moves into the east, and then it's smooth sailing for all of us by Monday. The general theme here for early next week is this system that's going to be moving into Labrador will warm Labrador up first with some showers. We will see some showers Monday night into Tuesday across the island, but then a southerly flow comes in for Tuesday afternoon, and that will really have temperatures peaking. And I think that's where we'll hit our highs for the at least early stages of next week, and perhaps all week will be the Tuesday time period. Mid, even high teen temperatures not out of the question. Those shower chances with that icon you see there will be early Monday night into Tuesday, then the clear out. A bit of a cool down for Wednesday, and then temperatures will try to build back in for Thursday and into Friday of next week. Now for Labrador, we are again talking about temperatures a little on the cool sides for sure for Sunday, warming up for Monday with a few showers in the mix, and then again a bit of a messy mix for Tuesday, but clearing out as we roll into the early stages, I should say mid to late stages of next week. That is your forecast. And now, a little look at our viewer picture of the day. Maybe I don't have it.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
It's absolutely stunning.
Any guesses? We'll have our viewer picture for you to guess and reveal after the break.
Okay, let's go to Toronto now. People being crabby on public transit, not that unusual. But live crabs on public transit, well, that's not so common. And if you were in Toronto and rode the subway this week, you would have encountered a bizarre seatmate or two.
Oh my goodness. A man reserved these precious spots during the rush hour commute for his pet crabs. That's right, live crustaceans. Needless to say, riders were less than impressed.
What kind of point he was trying to make? Strange, and not a very comfortable place to sit.
He wanted to keep them alive before he got to cook them.
Right, for Mother's Day.
I don't know, it's all bizarre.
Okay, that's Toronto. Let's go to Alberta now. A bakery there is using donuts to deliver a sweet message to a local politician. McBride's Bakery in Medicine Hat sent 24 rainbow sprinkled donuts to their United Conservative Party MLA, and the message, it's okay to be gay.
The bakery owners wanted to show their disapproval of a recent policy vote by the United Conservative Party. The resolution would require schools to notify parents when kids join peer groups and school clubs that might discuss topics of a religious and sexual nature. As the bakery owner says, people tend to listen while they're chewing. Okay then, it's time now to find out who's celebrating birthdays and anniversaries this week. Happy 91st birthday to Leslie Fudge, living in Port-aux-Basque, who'll celebrate this Sunday. Happy 60th anniversary to Bill and Irma Perry, coming up on Tuesday. The Perrys are from Millertown and now live in Ottawa. Happy 67th wedding anniversary to Eva and Graham Adams, who were married 67 years ago on the 7th in Harbour Grace. They're now retired in Seal Cove. Happy anniversary to Marjorie and John Price of North Harbour, who celebrated 54 years of marriage on the 8th. Happy 63rd anniversary to Mike and Catherine Power of Capeland Cove, Conception Bay North, who celebrated on the 7th.
And a very happy birthday to Elsie Lacey in Lewisport, who turned 94 on the 6th. That was last Sunday. And a happy 91st birthday to Betty Freak, whose special day was also last Sunday. She's in Grand Falls, Windsor, and we're told she still really enjoys driving. And a happy 95th birthday to Ella King in Port-aux-Basque. Best wishes to Joyce Corbin in Happy Valley Goose Bay, who celebrated her 93rd birthday on Monday. And congratulations to Bill and Jean Holden on their 50th anniversary. That's today.
Happy anniversary to Jerry and Annie Maud Wells of Head of Bay Despair, who celebrated their 50th yesterday. Happy 98th birthday to Flory Pennell of Mount Pearl, formerly from Ochre Pit Cove. Happy 94th birthday to Hedley Saunders from Greens Pond, now in Corner Brook. Happy 54th anniversary to Bill and Catherine Lushman of Grey River, who celebrated this Wednesday. Happy 55th anniversary to Rod and Marie Power of St. John's.
And best wishes to Thelma Coates, who turned 92 on Wednesday. And a happy 92nd birthday as well to Josephine Lewis in Fleur-de-Lis, who keeps very active and lives in her hometown. And a happy 55th wedding anniversary to Stuart and Phyllis Legg in Whiteaway. Their special day was yesterday. And birthday greetings to Blanche Biles, who turns 94 tomorrow. Blanche is in St. Anthony.
Happy anniversary to Frank and Ada Dean of North Harbour, Placentia Bay, who are celebrating 56 years of marriage today. Happy anniversary to Harvey and Geneva Wiseman of Monroe, celebrating 51 years together tomorrow. Happy 60th anniversary to Kitty and Edgar Stratton of Massey Drive, who celebrated their anniversary on Tuesday. It's a golden anniversary for Harold and Patricia Sims of Brigus, who are celebrating today. Happy 54th wedding anniversary to Dawn and Rose Cutler of Centerville. Their special day is Sunday. And happy 64th anniversary to Dawn and Lydia Waterman of Gambo, who will celebrate their anniversary tomorrow. Congratulations to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Fine-looking crew once again.
Yes. Always.
Okay, weather picture of the day. Yeah. It's actually in the system now. Good. So not much time to do a big guessing game, so you guys will get off easy on this one. We will zoom all the way in to a beautiful Trinity Bay, just to the east of Clarenville, and that is where we find Southport, and a Beautiful,
beautiful
sunset in Southport.
Nice.
That is delightful.
Isn't
Look
it?
at the color of the sky.
Too bad you gave it away. I would have gotten that.
Sure.
We'll chalk one up for you anyway.
Okay, good. I need all the points I can get.
Yeah.
He's so competitive. He's keeping score.
It's true.
It's almost like a
It's true.
Scrabble.
Not quite that bad.
You know,
Not quite that
not
bad.
that bad.
If he's keeping score, he's way behind you.
This is true. This is true.
Thanks, everybody, for being with us. It's been a great week, and enjoy your weekend. We'll see you Monday.
Yep.
Good night, everyone.
Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there.